Welcome back to Move Better. Today we're going to talk about the evolution of Move Better and how you can learn about working with us and why I started Move Better. So if you're interested and you want to learn more about how I came about starting Move Better, then listen in. So I started Move Better in 2016, and my intent was really to want to have a different approach to doing physical therapy. I enjoyed working with my colleagues, and I still enjoy working with colleagues. But I wanted to be able to spend more time, really dive deep into how people are moving, be able take people from whether it's an injury or a lack of movement to where they are able to get back into doing something else that they love and they're getting stronger and then building on that. And I wanted to be able to encompass the entire process from start to finish and kind of grow with people over time. I Many of you have followed me or you have worked with me know that I do neurokinetic therapy and anatomy and motion, both are which and immaculate dissection. And I use these techniques to help really look at your body from head to toe, connecting the dots. I'd like to be able to work with you and treat a whole body approach. Um, Also through use of the selective functional movement assessment and my strength coach background. I like to incorporate all of that. So I wanted to just get away from traditional physical therapy and really kind of create more of a team process and a longer term not even treatment, because I wanted to get away from doing just treatment. I wanted to actually be working on creating good movement. So that's when I started, and that was in 2016. I can't believe it's been 6.5 almost years now. And my values are explained in Move Better. Like, my goal is to help you move better and to create better motion and embrace movement, because I think it's really important that we move throughout our life. So values are looking that you believe in what you're doing. I hope to empower you to feel that you can explore movement and not be afraid to move anymore. Knowing that it's a team process and that together everybody achieves more. That we look at the total body approach, that that connecting the dots from your ankle to your shoulder, and really looking at how the core affects all of that. Uh, Creating equilibrium, not just in your body and your balance, working on balance, although that is a piece of it, but equilibrium in your movement, and your exercise routine and your mobility routine, that you are getting a whole, well-rounded, equal balance in that, and looking at how nutrition and hydration, sleep, and meditation, and all of the above fits into that to create an equilibrium in your own life, and balance in your own life. And then respect and resiliency. You got to respect the process. Got to know that it can take time and be committed to taking time. And I need to respect you and your process, and vice versa. It's a two-way street. And then being resilient in your, as we create better movement, you build resilience in your body to be able to do more throughout life. People ask all the time, how did you get into physical therapy? Why did you start doing what you're doing? And my mom had MS, basically since I was born, and she did have some mobility problems, but she never went to physical therapy. So I actually never knew what physical therapy was until I was in high school, and I took a test and I checked the boxes, and hey, physical therapy looks good for you. And it was a good fit. Through my schooling and then into our clinicals, like, I love working with people. I found that I like learning how the human body moves, and I love like learning about how it's all connected, and how different bones look like other bones, and your hand mimics your foot, and how everything's all interconnected, and how each joint has to move separately. And so I kind of fell in love with that process when I was in school, and just after school, as I started working, my entire goal was to be able to work with neurological patients, because I really loved how the brain functioned, and because I maybe from my background working with my mom and having MS and seeing how the brain like just affects everything down below. And that's kind of transitioned into the NKT, neurokinetic therapy, and looking at how the brain can affect general orthopedic function. And so over the course of my career, I've kind of changed my focus from, wanting to do neuro to more orthopedic, but I still tie it all together, because I know that the body is connected as one. And if our brain's not functioning right, or we have a little bit off in through there, it's going to affect what our big toe does. And the signals from your big toe and your ankle, your knee, all that can feed back into how your whole body moves. And so I just have loved that process. And in Move Better, I get to explore, with you how that movement comes about, and how we create, like I encourage you to struggle a little bit with your exercises, or to wobble a little bit, because you're just kind of opening up new pathways and teaching your brain to learn. And the more you not the more you struggle, but the more you kind of fail and have to kind of reset, you send those signals back to your brain. So it kind of brought it all full, so brings it all full circle for me. And I hope that that comes across when my clients come to see me, that it's the fun process to kind of explore how things are moving. It's really cool to see someone's eyes light up when they feel emotion for the first time that feels different. And like if their hip joint has been stuck and tight, that things are opening up a little bit more. Um, and as everybody in 2020, the world shifted, and so I did also. I do see some people in person, for physical therapy. Really, they come to me now for NKT or for anatomy and motion. um, but more I've transitioned more into online, whether it's telehealth or, um, I do a lot more personal training, and that's kind of where my focus has been lately, and in growing Move Better, and just trying to build strength and conditioning programs that actually include your movement patterns. It started with doing some one-on-one training for like a 3-month program that we met every week for an hour, and really got new programs, new exercise routines for the over the course of 3 months. And your workouts, your warm-ups were individualized, and your workouts were individualized, and kind of grown on from there to yearly programs. And now I also offer a group training program. If you want more information about that, the links will be down below. But the group training, like, you can have a program. It's not as individualized, but we can tweak it as you need to. And what I love about that is that people are able to follow a program, kind of connect and know they're working hard, and they can do it on their own time. I think that's really important. We all struggle day to day on, when do you get your workout in? And I don't do group classes because I find it hard to be there at a structured time. I think it's important to have your workout scheduled into your day, but it doesn't always work out for people. Everybody's schedule is all different. So having this online program that you can access, and you still have access to me, that you can ask me questions. I can change an exercise, we can tweak an exercise, we can make it harder, we can make it easier. I think has helped a lot of people to really continue on with their strength work and their exercise routine. Whether it be, one person came to me because she, was afraid to work out because her back had been really sore, and had an old injury from a different area, and she didn't know if she was going to be able to do anything. And so we worked together, created a good mobility routine that included some strength work, built that up, and over the course of time, she was doing much more and could do things like touch her toes again, which she hadn't been able to do in years. Another person, had some struggles with like upper back pain and stiffness and tightness. And, we have to tweak sometimes, like do these exercises in between so that you can then do more on the other end, and creating different mobility patterns that help, different activities that she can do to be able to allow her to get stronger, which makes it easier for her to go up and down stairs or go for a walk or, whatever she wants to do outside of life, outside of just exercise. Um, and then to another person who, you know, was looking to get stronger so that she could run farther and improve on her time. And putting all these, everybody's in a different space, but the workouts end up being very similar. But we just have to tweak, whether or not you can do a, a, a lunge or a push up. We can modify whatever you need to do. And that's what I like about training and making it more individualized, whether it's in a group or one-on-one. And so Move Better Today is a lot more personal training with some movement-based from a physical therapy's perspective. I'm not doing specific physical therapy with my personal training clients, but I'm able to adjust and modify because that's what I do as a physical therapist. If you have a need for hands-on or actual physical therapy because of an injury, I will either, if you want to come see me, and I don't take insurance, so I do have an office. I can treat you one-on-one, or I refer you to somebody, or you can come see me at Rebound where I work and do regular traditional physical therapy. So there's lots of options. And I like that. I think it's important in life to have options for how you live your life in general and how you move. And I think it's important for you to be able to choose how you're getting better and doing that. And then being able to continue on through life so that if you do struggle with keeping up with your workouts, you have an accountability partner. Or if you know something's, one day you're great on your workouts, but the next day you might need to come in to do some therapy, you have options. And I do think there are a lot of physical therapy clinics who are working on doing the same thing. And it's just been a fun process as far as growing with Move Better.
These days, most of my coaching comes from down here in the basement. And as you can see, we've got some great equipment. Although I don't treat people in person here, this is where I do most of my coaching with my group training clients. It's a great way to talk to them. I like the lighting down here, and it's just a fun atmosphere for me. So it gets me excited to help coach as well. You don't need to have all this fancy equipment to be able to train at home. It does help to have some weights, I think, but you can create a good workout with body weight training and, find a good workout just from whatever you have at home. But certainly having a weight rack and pulley system that my husband put all together, it's fabulous. It's awesome. I also am the cheer PT, as if you've been tuning in, you know that from this podcast. And I've transitioned over time to being able to, from working with cheerleaders as well as coaching women closer to my age, 45 to 65, who want to stay healthy and active and keep strong for life and be able to move and do fun things and feel good in the process. As the cheer PT, I really create more injury prevention programs and trying to teach others and cheerleaders, whether they're former or current cheerleaders, how to stay strong, healthy, fit. One thing that I was passionate about when I was coaching is encouraging my team to want to continue on and enjoy. Like, cheerleading has been my life. I started cheerleading when I was 14. I cheered all through college. I coached, and then I did my my grad school comprehensive analysis on cheerleading injuries. So cheerleading movement, that's been my entire life. And I want the cheerleaders of today to want to continue that as well, whether they, continue on cheering or whatever. But it was such a fun part of my life, and I think it can be very, it can be a healthy activity. It doesn't have to be a high injury activity if they're safe, if they have the strength and they have the ability and they have the control and they're paying attention. I think it can be a very safe activity and something that they can really enjoy and embrace forever. So that's how I became the cheer PT. And I really look forward to working with some cheer teams to help build their strength and create some, encourage them to create movement, as well as parents of cheerleaders who have to travel all the time, who are in cars, who are on planes, who aren't creating their own workout program because they're on the go all the time for their kids. I think this is important to be able to empower you to find some ways to include movement through your day, encourage you to get your walk in, and take care of you so that you can keep showing your kids how to take care of themselves.
Also in 2020, I created the course Centered, which is a course to teach you how your body moves and improve your balance, improve your posture, improve your flexibility, and go through a whole lot of different exercises. I'm just about ready to revamp that and do Center 2.0 and update some of the content to help get you moving and create, just so you can start to be aware of your posture and balance, not necessarily needing straight up hands-on directed physical therapy or anything, but just something that you can start to play with on movement and build some stability in the process. And that's been a fun transition, like getting into more teaching and coaching, and again, trying to empower you to be able to do work on your own without necessarily needing to see me on a regular basis or go to physical therapy on a regular basis. And I also created my exercise class. It's a flexibility and mobility class to work at, I called it Yogability. A little bit of yoga moves along with some anatomy and motion and some immaculate dissection. And that is a class I'd like to start to bring back. It's a virtual class. All of my training is virtual. And if you're interested in any of the above, in Centered, in training, or Yogability, you can reach the links below or send me an email, which is also below. And I'm not here to push any of this, but what I liked about the Yogability is it kind of creates some dynamic movement, not just the static holding. And I think that's important when we are stretching and creating, trying to improve our motion and our flexibility, knowing that we need to move through a motion back and forth, creating that length, but not just sitting there and holding. Or if we are doing a static hold, that we are then creating some stability around that afterwards, so that we create balance and equilibrium in our movement patterns. I think that's been the evolution. I came 6 years, and I think it's still going to continue to evolve over time. I really enjoy the podcast and talking with you all. If you have questions on how to move, or if there's somebody that you'd like to hear from and learn more from, I've had some great guests over the last 3 years, and I hope to continue to bring on guests that talk about movement, and not just physical movement, but how we can move better in general. And there's a lot of factors, like I said in the first episode, there's a lot of factors that that affect how we move. From our sleep, our hydration, our nutrition, our rest and recovery, the resilience that we have. And I really like talking with people. And so I hope to bring on some more people as we're going forward. The next episode after this one, I'll be recording later this week, and I'm bringing Bella, who's a college student from Worcester State. And we're going to talk about how movement can affect mental health. And I think that's huge, especially in today's world. It's always been huge, but looking forward to talking fitness with her and how to improve movement and how that can affect mental health. So, it's been a fun journey, and hopefully you're getting some learning in the process, but you're enjoying. I hope as time goes on that I have more conversation, life conversation in general, everything that affects movement, because it's really important. Something my mom taught me through the course of her life is that you got to just keep moving. And, she struggles sometimes, and it's definitely getting harder for her to get up and move, but she pushes herself, and she generally doesn't have any pain. It's just she has to like get her body to get up and keep moving. And I think that we can lose that drive sometimes. It's very easy to get stuck on the couch. I was just sitting down there with my cats and snuggling in, and it's easy to get stuck. But if we do that, then we lose our mobility and things stiffen up and tighten up. And my mom has been a great example of leading the way of helping me to recognize that. So although it wasn't her that really pushed me into physical therapy, or her condition of multiple sclerosis that pushed me into physical therapy, her drive, her ambition to keep moving. She's been a big supporter of nutrition along the way, because she's changing her nutrition affected her life greatly. And I continue to learn on that because of her. And I think all of that fits in and goes together, and it's important as we go through this thing called life and we try to move better. Thanks for listening today, and I hope you have a great afternoon, great day, whenever you're listening to this. If you're in your car right now listening, do a little movement, sit up tall, slouch, shift your weight side to side, twist a little bit. Remember to create movement. It's normal to be a little bit stiff when you're staying in one position, but if we work it and we are going through our range of motion, we can gradually nudge that and get the stiffness to feel better. I will see you next time. And don't forget, when in doubt, breathe it out. Take life one step at a time, and have a great day.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Move Better with a Cheer PT. If you enjoyed the episode, please share it so more people can learn how to embrace healthy and fun movement. If you'd like to work with me on your fitness journey to stay strong and healthy, you can find me at the link listed below. That's where you'll find all my free guides and access to all my social media channels, as well as to book an appointment for a free discovery call to discuss your goals. Thanks for being part of our cheer team. Remember to live life without deductions and with extraordinary cheer.